Welcome, everybody, to episode number 2 of the 4 Roads Out of Warba podcast, featuring the Warbashop Quartet. I want to introduce you first this week to the man who's cosplaying the first level of Skyrim, Tippy Tater Alligator. The man who got that joke, Doo-Doo. And of course, there's Bob. Never forget Bob. Nice wave there. That was a good arm. And your host for this week, Bort. Remember?
Hi, Bort.
For the license plate.
Hi, Bort.
So we've got an exciting week where we are going to be talking about the most stupidest things that we are willing to admit to in a podcast. But first, I just wanted to follow up with everybody, see how their week was, anything they would like to talk about. Mr. Alligator, do you have anything?
Yes, week has been pretty good. For anybody who doesn't know, I travel for work, and I am just finishing up in Illinois right now after dang near 2-year stretch here, and glad to be done and see some other scenery. But yeah, going back home this weekend, get my camper all ready. Got a spot out in Michigan, which will be the next location, and we will probably be there for the remainder of the year. So I'm really excited for the summer, and of course for more of our podcasts as well. So
hey, Alligator, do you bring your camper to Warba and camp there ever at that new place they go to?
I haven't brought my camper there. I'm definitely not just gonna haul it from Michigan back there or anything. But I mean, my folks got a spot there.
Okay.
And when I go stay there, I probably go over there over the 4th of July. I just usually bring a tent when I go there. So.
I think that's Sal's campground, right?
It is. Yep.
Doo-Doo, do you know where that's at?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know where that is, right? Or
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyway.
Okay, Doo-Doo, how was your week?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. Good. Not as eventful as Tippy's there, but yeah, just quiet up here in northern Minnesota, just hanging out with the trees and the birds and family, and that's about it. Nothing real exciting. I'm getting older. I got an eye appointment tomorrow. Get some glasses, I think.
Don't scream when you put glasses on and actually see what you look like.
Oh man, I know. I'm not looking forward to that.
And then next week when you're doing this podcast to see what we look like.
But thanks for asking.
Oh, yes. And Bob, in my completely authentic introduction segment, how was your week?
Doing well. I'm at down in Spicer, Minnesota right now. I'm here for work for some training stuff. And I'm in a hotel right now, so pretty boring. So I'm glad that this was going on tonight. It worked out really well because I had absolutely nothing else to do here.
Do they call it Spice Dog down there?
No, they call it Spice down here.
Okay.
So wait, if there's girls down there, would they be the Spice Girls?
I'll go find a couple and ask them and see what response they give me.
Okay. All right.
And Bort, how was your week? Oh, that's me.
You would talk to yourself in the third person.
Well, Bort, that's kind of you of asking. And I just so happen I've got COVID right now. And COVID
Yay,
sucks.
COVID.
I do not like having COVID. I'm on day 3. I am excited to be through this. Went day 1, felt like it was a horrible flu. You know, the body aches. Yesterday was the head cold day. Today's just the sore throat. And yeah, I got 2 whole days off of work, and I beat Mega Man 1 on my PSP, so I'm a little proud of myself for that. Yeah, that's really about it in my life.
So the kids going?
Oh, sorry.
My kids, I got two of the 4 have got the COVID as well. K3 continues to somehow evade COVID. Both rounds that went through our house, she has not gotten it.
They can't catch her. She's
Yeah.
quick.
But yeah, S1 and J4 both got it, but all they had was a cough, and they're doing good.
How was this time compared to the other time you had it?
The first time was much worse. I mean, at least I think so. I mean, I remember I was sick for over 2 weeks that time. You know, that was the original real COVID. You know, back before we had all these vaccines and crap to make us safer.
Do I hear some political rants coming in here?
I took the vaccine.
Wait, what's the vaccine?
Never heard of her. Kobe, have you had COVID yet?
No.
Okay, and then you haven't had it, right?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you're
You'll be
All I know is I'm almost out of my free COVID tests. So, Mr. Biden, please send me some more. There to even things out.
No comment.
Okay. Well, thank you, gentlemen, if you are to be referred to that. And we will very smoothly and eloquently transition right into the subject of the week. The most stupidest things you have ever done that you are willing to admit to in a podcast. I've asked all of the gentlemen and myself to come up with 3 items, and we will be just taking turns sharing stories, hopefully laughing at each other's stupidity. So yeah, I can kick us off with a story that probably these guys have heard numerous times throughout the year. It's called the pen cap story.
I was there for that.
So, back in the year 1998, 1998, or maybe it was 97. Boy, I can't remember years. That's bad. Anyways, I was in 8th grade, and Bob and I were into professional wrestling like all upstanding youngsters. And one evening we were wrestling in the house, and I tried a schoolboy roll-up to pin Bob. And Bob, I rolled him up, and he came right down. And as I cradle him up to pin him, he comes right down and sits on my hand as it's pinned to the ground. Just like that. Busts my wrist in two places. We weren't allowed to wrestle in the house.
Really?
So we concocted this story where we were playing basketball outside. And Mom, I don't know if you ever heard this story or not, but here it is now. We concocted the story where we were playing basketball outside, and me, being the ultra competitive me playing one-on-one basketball, decided to dive for a ball that was out of bounds, to keep it in bounds in a one-on-one basketball game, and landed on my wrist and broke it. She bought it. Well, she claimed she bought it. Anyways, over the next couple days, nobody believed my wrist was broken. They just thought it was hurt. So I ended up with going on a trip up to my dad's, and was trekking through some really thick mud just for fun because I'm a dumb kid. And I ended up falling on the broken wrists again. And then the following day, I was sitting in my dad's dining room trying to listen to my favorite Itasca County quiz show, Green Cheese, leaning back and forth on the chair, and wouldn't you know, I pushed the chair too far and landed on my wrist again. So it's 3 times in, I think, 4 days that I landed on the same wrist. It's just shredded by now. And finally, Mom agrees to take me to the doctor. Now, Bob, I gotta wonder, was that the same weekend of your infamous trampoline incident?
No, did you have a broken wrist when we went to Kobe's place?
I think so.
And then
that weekend, that was my sister's confirmation.
Yeah. I think that was all in the same thing.
Yeah, because long story short, I'm really good at doing trampoline stuff, and I did a backflip. And was it your mother that was very concerned, or my mother?
Well, I'm sure both were to some extent, but I remember you overshooting the backflip and hitting your head on the spring and blood spurting out, and then my mom was like, "You're taking him to the hospital." And I forgot where the hospital was on the ride there. And
I know.
your guys.
Well, and I remember you were so mad because
Teresa was so annoyed, and she was like on her cell phone talking to my mom because I couldn't remember what was on.
Well, I remember too, you wanted nothing to do with going because you were mad because you were going to miss out on all the food. Like, I don't want to go. I want the food.
It turned out all right. You know, I mean, you know, in the pharmacy they had a little gift shop there, and me and Jason were buying crossword puzzles. So.
Oh. Well, when I got those staples taken off, my mother wouldn't let me keep those staples either. So, anyway, sidetrack.
Yeah. So yeah, we were on a roll that weekend. Anyways, I get home, get my arm casted up, go to the doctor, get my hand casted up, and yeah, you know, the doc says, you know, I got cast to here. Doc says, leave it on for 4 weeks. Like, okay. First night I come home and let me see if I got something here. You know, I telling the pen cap story and I don't even have a pen with the cap. First night you come home. Yeah, but it's better with the demonstration. First night I come home and I have a scratch, you know, inside my cast. So I take a pen and I scratch, you know, and eventually I do it again, but I stick it pen cap side into the cast. And then I pull out and the pen cap doesn't come with. Pen cap stayed in my cast. My mom wasn't happy because, you know, this is day one and she thinks she's going to have to pay to get my whole cast recasted. So she calls the doctor in the morning and the doctor says, if it doesn't hurt, just keep it in there. That doctor, oh boy, he was in trouble here.
Well, I remember you trying to get it out. So you had like a coat hanger you're trying to fish it out with.
Yep.
Every time you grab it, it would dig more into your wrist, it felt like.
So
I'm really surprised that after Bob heard what you just said about the doctor saying that, he wasn't stuffing more stuff in there to see if it's fit.
So yeah, anyway, a month comes and goes, and I really never had any pain at all. But then they went and took this cast off. And when they took this cast off, so you got the pen cap, you have the little hole in the pen cap, and the pen cap had broken my skin open and had embedded itself about halfway up the pen cap into my arm, where the skin had grown right into the middle of the pen cap to about the halfway point, right around it. And I know you're probably not going to be able to see it. But there's a scar from it right there. And it doesn't really pick up that well because of this crappy webcam. But I got a scar on it, and let me tell you, if you ever want to get good service in a local doctor's office, You find a doctor who gives you some really bad advice, and then is worried about you suing him. Because I had the doctor, I had 5 nurses, and they were worried beyond belief that I would sue them. And thankfully, nothing happened. You know, they were really worried. They said if it would have gotten infected, you know, I could have lost my arm. But you know, no harm done. Just, you know, bandaged it up for a couple of weeks, and it was better, and it's got a cool scar and a story that I always tell whenever I tell stories about stupid things I've done.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, when they took your cast off, like your arm itself, was it like all funky and just like that big and sticky?
Did it smell?
Stuff?
Well, you know, it was just, you know, dead skin, you know, just like whenever you take a cast off.
Was it like peel off, like?
No, I just remember like a bunch of like dry skin spots, basically.
Oh, so it's not like wet and gooey?
I don't think so. I mean, the cut was the cut was nice and gooey.
Oh,
Nice.
good. I like some gooiness in my story.
But yeah, you're expecting me to remember all these details from 25 years ago. But
Bob, I had 12 staples in my head from a construction accident, and I got to keep one of them. I smoothed the nurse over so she'd let me keep one staple. So if you want to see what yours looks like, I'm sure I got it somewhere around here.
Funny. Well, thank you for that story. I like that. I just remember.
I've got a staple too.
No, I just remember from your deal, Bort, was when, I just remember sitting in the hallway and just fishing down there. And I could tell in your face every time you'd grab it and it'd dig in, you're just and cringing. That's like all I really remember about that.
And I have no memory of that.
I have no memory
of that whole process.
You're probably in shock.
Eh.
Yeah.
So that is my story.
Yay, good story.
Well, thank you. Next up, Mr. Tippy Tater Alligator.
Okay, what I did is I probably picked the first 3 things off the top of my head, and these are all going to be family-friendly stories.
Mine wasn't.
Wait, we got to have family-friendly stories?
Yeah.
Well, I could divulge some stories where I was, like an ear hair away from losing my life, but
I think we all got those.
Yeah, but I just wanted to share some like just some kind of like cheeky, funny stories,
Did you guys have trouble finding clean stories?
Yes.
Yes. Because
not really. I mean, like,
that I can't really say here. So
yeah,
I did not.
Like these are some stories that I mean, like this just happened to be, and I just kind of felt like, just kind of felt like an idiot afterwards, But the first thing that came to mind is, I think it was back in like maybe like 2002 or 2003. I was back home by Brainerd area, and well, I mean it was Brainerd, but I was walking into Best Buy one day. And there were a couple of gals standing outside. They were doing a school project, probably for, I don't know if they went to the community college or they were like, seniors in high school or whatever. But, like, hey, approached me like, hey, we're doing a documentary and would you like to be interviewed? I'm like, okay, why not? And but before they start recording, there's like, they told me they were doing their project on the new Super Walmart that was going up. And they're like, okay, I agreed to it. And then so they start recording. And so the first question they asked me is, what do you think about the new Super Walmart going up? And at this point, I really didn't care. I couldn't be more interested in what they were doing. I just wanted to get into Best Buy and start looking at music and movies. And I'm like, I respond with, they're putting up Super Walmart? and then they go, okay, that's all we needed. And then as soon as I'm walking into the second door, I'm like, oh, God.
Your 15 seconds of fame.
Yeah, I don't know if that is ever ended up on the cutting room floor or if that ended up being lost media, but
Oh, that'd be so great. Wait,
It's-
they're putting
it's a
super
significantly shorter story than yours, Void, but
Oh, that's funny.
it was definitely a space cadet moment.
Mhm. Well, it sounds like you'd something you'd say just kind of be funny more than anything. And where was that at?
It was Best Buy in Baxter.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, doo-doo.
My turn, huh? Well, I think I was around, I don't know. I was young, probably like the year 1990, something like that. I worked at a grocery store in the cities. And my ma was going with a guy from Wisconsin. So he came and picked her up that Friday night because I had to work Saturday. And I finished my work shift there, and it was snowing bad. And my mom had a a Pontiac 6000, real nice car. And I take off, and I'm heading towards Wisconsin, and running down these old country farm roads, and that was back before I was the professional that I am now. And and I ended up slamming on the brakes, losing control of the car, and putting it in the ditch. And I get out of the car, and I blew the right front tire and put a little dent in the other fender. And this guy came along and picked me up, and had him take me over to my mom's, where my mom was at her boyfriend's. And yeah, he dropped me off, and I went in the house. Mom goes, where's the car? And my mom is a very sweet, caring, loving person, but she scares the crap out of me sometimes. So I told her the only thing I could think of, and that was that a mouse ran out in the road, and I swerved and missed it and put it in the car in the ditch.
Did you buy it?
So yeah, God bless her. She didn't. Yeah, she just made sure I was all right. And we called up a buddy of mine, and he brought his pickup up, and we towed it out of the ditch, and then took tire off, got it fixed. Everything was okay. But yeah,
did she buy your story?
Huh?
Did she buy it, or did she just look at you with disappointment?
Oh no, she's not that.
No.
That's the best you have. You couldn't at least said a deer,
Dude.
A possum?
Scared, man. You know
A
you're on
moose?
Laura. She used to feed you cough syrup all the time.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because Bort would always go over there when we were younger, and they'd hang out. They'd watch us. We'd spend the weekend over there. But you guys were on the third floor, so we'd always be jumping. She'd be yelling, "There are people downstairs," and she'd always threaten to give us cough syrup.
Oh, any little cough that you get that, it was cough syrup.
Oh, just the worst cough syrup too. Just the worst.
So yeah, that's my mouse story. Darn mouse was huge. It was that big.
He was accompanied by 4 Ninja Turtles.
That's right. That's right. Master Splinter was his father.
Funny.
I realize I just completely butchered that joke, but whatever.
I liked it.
It was good. It was good.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there we go. There's one. I got a few more.
All right.
Okay, go ahead, Bob.
All right. I am going to bring out a classic. I don't remember how old I was, maybe 4 or 5 over at Bort and Tippitator Alligator's Grandma and Grandpa's house. And in the backyard, they have a big retaining wall.
I know where this one's going.
I told this story at your wedding.
Yeah. So you got the retaining wall on top, and then it drops down probably a good, 3 feet, 4 feet?
Yeah, 3 feet max, but it's a lot bigger when you're, 4, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah. So I thought it was going to be a great idea just to launch my bike off of there. Rewinding, when I was younger and I don't have gray, I used to have like the brightest blonde hair in the summer. So my grandfather, he's on the opening, the gentleman with the glasses. He tells me, "Don't do it. I'm gonna ride my bike off there, Grandpa. Don't do it." So what do? Get on my little bicycle, ride down that hill like I'm gonna jump the lake. And stupid little me doesn't realize there's something called a lip on the brick. So here's the grass, here's the lip. Well, I'm not thinking about the lip. I'm thinking about the jump I'm gonna make. So I hit that lip, fly over my handlebars, land on my head, and skid probably a good 3 feet. Get up, have a huge green grass stain on my hair. I fall down. I'm falling. My grandpa comes walking down. I'm on. He goes and starts laughing. And then grandma comes down. "Oh, my little boy." So yeah, just my grandfather's reaction. Just I look back at that now, and that's very respectable. So because I landed hard right on the top of my head. And the man he knew my neck wasn't broken, so then he knew he could laugh at me. So
it's amazing. For those that don't know, Bort and Bob and Tippy are related, and then myself and Bort and Bob are related, through mother and father side and stuff. I knew his grandparents, and Tippy, I think, remembers my grandparents.
Oh yeah.
But both our grandfathers are on the opening of our podcast, and it's amazing how much they were alike.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time Grandpa and I were taking the garbage to the dump, and this isn't my story, it's just an afterthought. And I was sitting on the tailgate of that old GMC he had, and I fell off and I landed on my tailbone, and it hurt bad. And all Grandpa said was, "Well, don't do it again." It's just they knew.
Yep. Just rub some dirt on it and you'll be good.
Yep.
Well, he did on the fall.
Yeah.
What?
You rubbed some dirt on it just by falling.
That's right.
Not that little more never hurt.
Yeah.
Funny.
Oh boy.
Are we on to round 2?
Okay, we're on to round 2, and Doo-Doo, I'm gonna have you start this round.
All right. Well, after that mouse ran me off the road, I figured I better learn how to drive better. So I decided that I was going to drive a truck for a living, and I went out and got my CDL. And at the time, it was a few years later. I think I was around 20. So 95, somewhere in there. I was working for a buddy of mine. He had a construction company, and I was running equipment for him and driving dump truck, and then he had a trailer. I'd go move his equipment for him and stuff. And we had just got done digging a house over in Stillwater, Minnesota, and the bulldozer he owned was still over there, so he asked me to go pick it up and bring it somewhere else. So I drive over there and back the truck and trailer up on the yard so I could throw the dozer on the trailer. And as I got out, there was 2 very nice looking women sitting in the yard of the neighbor across the street. And now I'm a young man and probably about 6 foot and 300 or so pounds of all muscle. And, so I was kind of showing off for him. I'd go over. The trailer was flat, had a little dip down like this, and then there's ramps that you picked up and threw off, and then you threw them back. But they were fairly heavy, but I was doing it one-handed, just to kind of show off. And yeah, so I got the ramps down. I fired the machine up, ran it up on the ramp, or up on the trailer, one-handed the ramps back up, and grabbed my chains. And I had one chain in the front, one chain in the back. So I put the chain on the front and then put a chain binder on them. And I had a 4-foot long pipe that I put on the handle of the chain binder, so you get that extra torque and get that chain extra tight. And I did that on the front. Everything was fine. Of course, they couldn't see me when I was doing the front. The back, though, they could see me. So I put the chain across the back, put the binder on it, put the pipe across or onto the handle, but I didn't put it on far enough because I wasn't paying attention. Always pay attention. And I pulled that pipe down and it slipped off the end of the chain binder, hit me in the head, knocked me out. It knocked me out. I don't know how long it was, but when I woke up, both them ladies were standing over me, along with my boss and 2 paramedics.
Jeez.
They took me in, and I ended up having, that time it was like 6 staples in my head. And yeah, that was stupid. Never show off.
You get their numbers?
No.
They're too busy laughing to write?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Funny.
No, I definitely feel for you on that one because I work with truck drivers all the time that are tying down their loads either with ratchet straps or chain binders that I know, how much kinetic energy is in in a chain and a friggin' 4-inch strap too, so
Yep.
it just almost makes me cringe just hearing that because I see that on a daily basis,
The first concussion I ever had was I was hauling lumber for Lampert's Lumber in Apple Valley. It was a Friday night. They called in a couple little stupid trim pieces of wood way on the other side of the cities, and rush hour is in the city. So I ratcheted it down real tight, and that it was a 5-inch strap. Broke, the hook broke, came back, hit me in the head. That was a 12 staple time. Yeah.
Wow.
Dangerous stuff, but it's rewarding when you get to. No, that's not. Never mind.
I don't think there's much reward about that, dude. But you survived. Now you're here, gracing us with your presence. So.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me do it.
Okay, go ahead, Bob.
Alrighty. I'm going to go back to another old one. My mother will really like this one. So, second grade.
I know.
Yeah. Second grade, I thought I was so cool. Me and my buddies, we would get sweatpants and we'd roll the knees up. And we'd have them, rolled up kind of with shorts. That was our thing. We were just cool like that. I don't know why. But so I bugged my mom. I need more sweatpants. That was terrible. I tore them all up. What? So I was terrible with clothes. I tore them all up all the time. So fine, Mom, I need another pair of sweatpants. Fine, Bobby, I will buy you one more pair of sweatpants. So she buys me this beautiful gray pair of sweatpants. I'm so happy.
I don't think I've ever heard the words beautiful and sweatpants the same sentence.
Especially gray ones.
Mine were beautiful gray sweatpants. So I got them on the next day. I was so ready to get to school, just roll those puppies up and just have a day.
Uh-oh.
So I'm in class and I have a permanent marker. This is a good place to draw a star. So I drew a star with a permanent marker on my brand new gray sweatpants. I don't know. And then a little bit later, for some reason, there was a little tiny hole, like on the one of the seams, like the crotch area. And I'm like, what's that? I said, pull that. So I did, and tore my whole crotch open in my pants. So my mother left her beautiful boy going to school in these brand new sweatpants. And I come home horrified. I'm like, what am I going to tell her? But I'm too stupid to make up a clever mouse story like you.
Well, I was going to say, tell her mouse ate your sweatpants.
So I decided, you know what? I'm just going to throw them in the laundry. She won't notice. So, well, she did. Came up, Bobby, what did you do with these? So first she points to the star. Like, what happened? I dropped a marker on my pants. Stares at me.
You give me
You
crap
dropped a
about the
marker.
mouse story?
and it made a star on your pants. Like, yes. Okay, well, what about the big hole in your crotch? Well, I was in gym and I slipped and there was a rock and it ripped the hole right out. She didn't believe me. I was a terrible liar. So.
Never ever give me crap about my mouse story.
Well, I was like 7. You had a driver's license.
Yeah, but I got the mental age of a 7-year-old at that time.
At that time.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm next. This one's a little more serious. A lesson I learned in life. One that I should have known before. Basically, I was always pretty much a rules follower throughout life. One of them is when you're in a car, you wear a seatbelt. Well, I always followed that rule because that's what you're supposed to do. Fast forward to 2003, I am on a missions trip in Belize. I get down to Belize and I'm shocked to not only learn 2 things. One, they drive crazier than, I don't know, Andrew, where's the craziest driving place in the U.S.?
New York.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. They drive twice
What'd
as
you say,
crazy
Matt?
as...
Sorry, Jace. What did you say, Matt?
Illinois.
Oh, yeah. Illinois. Yep.
They drive twice as crazy as New Jersey, Illinois, and what'd you say, Bob? New York combined?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just nuts. And the roads are destroyed in
You got
horrible
big
state.
mouses in Belize.
Yeah. Apparently they ate the asphalt because it's bad. But on top of that, I found out that nobody wore seatbelts. It was not a law to wear seatbelts, and nobody wore seatbelts. And I was just shocked by this. So we had this big, it was like just like a 7-passenger, not a minivan, but one of those old school looking vans, held 7 people. And we're driving around in that for most of the week. And then finally on like the 7th day, I don't even think the back seats even had, seat belts, sort of like almost like a school bus style. But finally I end up in the front seat, in the front passenger side seat, and there's a seat belt there. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to be a rebel. I'm not going to buckle in today because nobody else does. I'm going to be cool. And so we're driving along. I think we were trying to drive up like a mountain to go like inner tubing down this mountain river type thing through some caves and stuff like that. And we're driving up there, and my friend driving, he was going to pass a semi truck, and he goes to accelerate. He pulls into the other lane and goes to pass his semi truck and hits the accelerate, and he forgot that this is a very, very old, not very well kept up van with AAA batteries in for the battery. So he accelerates and puts it to the floor, and we go from 55 miles an hour to about 56. And he's trying to get around this semi-truck, and we're just creeping up it. And all of a sudden, we're just not getting there. All of a sudden, we're getting up to a hill, and coming right over the hill is another semi-truck. He's completely pinned in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to die the one time I didn't wear a seatbelt. He managed to swerve right in between the two of them as they were about to cross each other.
Wow.
Literally about a quarter second on either side of him. And I would have been, my brains would have been splattered all over the mutant mouse infested asphalt of Belize.
Well, good thing you were on a mission trip then.
Yeah. Who was driving?
John Bodo.
Bodo was driving.
Oh,
yeah.
He
Nice.
saved me, nearly killed me.
Well, he saved you, no?
Do you give him crap about it?
I don't remember.
Well, now you are.
Now you can.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Borton. I'm on the internet. John Bodo, you're now on the internet.
Funny.
Funny.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Tippy Tater Alligator, what you got?
But I'm thoroughly enjoying this right now because I already know some of these stories. There's some stories just kind of forgot about, but then once you start talking about them, like, oh, okay, yep. Those are great moments, and it also brings up a more. I could have done this story. I could have done this story. I could have done this story.
I'm writing like
but I already decided like the 3 stories I want to tell, and the next 2 stories have something in common because they are both instances of where I did something stupid, and then within a very short period of time, I did the exact same thing again. So, so that's part of a reason why I wanted to share these 2 stories. It'll be story number 2 and 3.
Okay.
Okay, so story number 2 is, when I was pretty green in the working construction, or specifically pipeline industry. Started off as a laborer. We do a lot of just the grunt work, everything that basically doesn't involve welding, driving, or operating equipment, And a big part of our jobs was helping, unloading trucks, So I was on this one time I was on the bed of a float trailer, and I was, helping undoing straps or the tie down straps, then helping hooking up the straps that will lift off whatever we are, bringing to the job location.
Say sorry, but it looks like Dudu's starting to sweat. You're talking about the straps.
I am. Please don't talk anymore about straps.
Nice. Well, I was a lot younger than I was right now then. This is like about 14 years ago. It was like my first summer doing this. And
Glad you weren't older.
Bort. Okay, well, anyways, I'm ready to get off the truck, and at that point, I didn't have a problem just jumping off the bed of a flatbed or whatever, So I thought I would dismount it backwards instead of.
Of course.
But I'm not wearing very flexible shoes. I'm wearing like a very thick-soled, shin high leather steel toe boots, and the edge or the back edge of my heel catches the edge of the float trailer, and I fall pretty much backwards, and I was lucky I was able to kind of tumble backwards as I was falling backwards. And at that point, I was still fortunately made of rubber, so that I was just able to get right back up. And I mean, it'll probably look so bad you could have like an incident report, but I mean, it was.
Did you have any cute girls staring at you?
No, but there were a lot of
Big burly
co-workers, which was much worse.
They won't let it
Because
go.
you're never going to hear the end of that. Mhm. Yep. Okay. So fast forward about, it was later in the summer. And, it, kind of the same instance, it was on the same job, but a little bit different location. Doing the exact same thing, up on the float trailer, helping undoing straps, and rigging equipment and materials to unload. And that time, I just straight up walked off the back of it. just took a wrong step, and I don't know what was preoccupying my mind, but it's like, do. And once again, no girls or local side, but all my coworkers side too. And I hear over my company radio, my foreman, "Tippy, did you just fall off the trailer again?"
Did you stand up and go like they do in the gymnastics?
I'm pretty sure I did, because once again, walked out of it completely unscathed.
Now, what if that happened to you now?
Not a scratch. What's that?
What if that happened to you now? Would you walk away unscathed?
Oh, well, I'm a lot more careful when I dismount a trailer these days. I actually go up to the side of the cab and use the steps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
You've grown so much.
Oh, yeah.
Similar story as yours here. Truck driving, you can relate to this, Tippy. There's 3 points all the time. Where your hand your hand or your 2 feet or your 2 hands and a foot, kind of like you're climbing on a trailer. Yep.
Yeah. That's a safety protocol that's constantly preached in our industry. Or I mean, it's anything that has OSHA involved.
Yeah. Yep.
How come I see mountain climbers all the time? You figure that'd be harder than climbing semis, but mountain climbers are always hanging with like one hand, and then the rest of their bodies are like dangling over edges and stuff like that. So how come they don't have the 3 points of contact, but you guys do?
Because that probably doesn't fall under OSHA or DOT regulations.
Plus, they're hauling gas, so what do they care if it blows up?
I mean, unless you're a Sherpa or something, but I'm not sure how the DOT is in Nepal. So.
Saying.
Perfect.
Funny.
Nice.
Well, falling down on your back twice explains a lot.
Haven't had to go to the chiropractor.
That's good.
Your back's doing a lot better than Bob's.
Yeah, didn't you recently injure yourself sitting in a chair and not able to attend a certain AEW event or AEW event?
I've done that twice now. The other time I did it was before I was going for our training at work, and that was a full week physical training, and the night before I was sitting in a chair, and I stood up and my back went out.
I got you beat. I was sitting in a chair, and I reached over to get my beer off the floor, and my back went out. And I still got my beer off the floor.
Well, I said, get your beer at least?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Once your back goes, man, it ain't ever gonna be the same.
Yuck. Okay, Bob.
I'm torn. I had one story, but now when we're sitting here, I have 2 more. So, Fort, you know all these, so I'm going to ask your 2 cents quick. So, should it be my backyard wrestling one with or the time I borrowed our stepfather's truck. And you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
Or actually, Tip, you know this one too. Remember when I injured myself and then we went golfing?
Yeah.
Remember we were up in our bedroom at my dad's house?
But we're gonna have to have most stupidest things you're willing to admit to in a podcast, volume 2, at some point.
I know.
You didn't even throw the ketchup story out there.
Okay. Ketchup stories then.
Oh really?
Yep, ketchup story's the best. I'll keep those ones for our next podcast. Our next dumbest things.
Next time it goes full circle.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, once we get to episode 95 or something.
Yeah.
With 3 viewers.
Yes. All right. So this one, I was a dumb kid. How did I make it without my mother killing me?
Wait, was?
Bob, you would have been you're in 3rd grade for this one.
Okay. You remember weird things. No, I was that old and I did this. Oh, say I was younger.
I mean, it could have been 2nd grade. It depends what LeMay Lake apartment we were in.
It was the one where you walk in and our bedrooms, the kitchen was on the right when you walked in.
Okay, I'll give you 2nd grade. I can't.
Okay, good.
I'll give you
third.
No, I need 2nd grade. This is a very stupid story. So, again, as a kid, I was super cool. I don't know how I came across this, but somehow I got hold of a little pocket knife. I don't know how. So I decided, you know what?
Our grandpa probably gave it to you.
No, Grandpa was smart. He wouldn't give my idiotic butt a pocket knife. Maybe an orange peeler.
Mm.
Anyway, so I decided, you know what? I'm cool. I want to recreate some of these cool action movie scenes that I see. So looking around a little bit, like, all right, I think I'm gonna do like a fight, a good old fight with a knife. All right, so I'm looking around my mother's beautiful living room with the white walls, white carpet, and her beautiful white couch. So I decided, you know what? Fight can't be complete without some blood. Well, I don't want to cut myself. I got a whole thing of ketchup in the fridge. So I'll go in the fridge, get my ketchup, sit on the nice white couch because,
No,
you know.
Bob, bear in mind, I always remember this as you were doing a professional wrestling match. I didn't remember this as an action movie, but you didn't want to get your clothes dirty.
Oh,
with all this ketchup.
Yes, because that would have been awful. I don't want to get my clothes dirty. So, was I just my underwear, or did I just take my shirt off?
You were in your underwear, yes.
My whitey tighties, perfect. So, sitting on Mom's nice white couch, and I just say, you know what? I'm ready for this. Coat myself in the ketchup. I'm doing I got stabbed. Oh, I got stabbed. I have just the best movie scene. Just chaos everywhere on that couch. So I get done. I'm like, oh man, ketchup everywhere. I gotta clean this up. So I go walking, looking around the kitchen, and there's some paper towel. You know what? I think I gotta go sit back on that couch and clean myself off. Back on that couch, sit down on that couch, grab those beautiful paper towels, just start wiping all that ketchup up, squabbing all over the floor, everywhere. So now I got a problem. I'm sitting on this nice, beautiful white couch, and my hands are full of ketchup-filled paper towels. What am I going to do with them? Oh, right across the room, there's a garbage can right next to the nice white wall. I can make that.
Bear in mind, a little tiny waste paper basket, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny.
I can make that. So I proceed. It's probably a good 10-foot throw. So I take the nice white, gross ketchup-soaked paper towels and I throw them across right on the wall that soaks down. And I did that probably 25 times. By the time I got done, it looked like a murder scene everywhere. Ketchup everywhere, all over the walls, all over the couch, all over the carpet. I don't even know what I told Mom. I probably said I dropped some ketchup and like fell on a rock and ripped my pants. So I don't know.
You know, it's funny. I don't remember what happened either. I
don't.
remember what happened. I don't remember what happened when she got home.
See, the mind works really mysteriously of blocking out trauma.
I think I could just tell she was so disappointed in me that I blocked that out of my mind. Because, yeah, I did never want to see that look in my mother's eye again. I'm sure that's what happened. Because it's just crazy. It's funny, thinking back, how stupid is that? Why would I even think that would be a good idea? Hey.
Next time you see her again, you should bring a ketchup bottle and ask her if she wants some.
Sorry, I used all your ketchup, Ma.
Yeah.
You know, funny story about my mom. She has nightmares if she ever eats pickles before bed.
Really?
Yeah.
And her favorite sandwich is bologna and ketchup. And I used to make her these delicious bologna and ketchup sandwiches. You get a piece of bologna, and I'd put so much ketchup on there. It looked like somebody stabbed it a bunch. It was just leaking all over the. I'd give it. Here you go, Mommy. And
yep. Here you go. Here's your murdered bologna.
She would take that sandwich to work and she would eat it. Because
right.
No, she would.
Did you smear the ketchup around on yourself first, and then
you go like this
bologna to wipe it on?
Using like a bar of soap.
I got your mother's story for you. When you guys were little, running around out at the lake, you know, what's that lake called? Hale Lake. You guys were just running around in your little capes, just running around. Bob, you had a blue one. Jason had a red one. And
made by my mother.
Made by your mother. Yep.
Wait.
I know, Jace, you got to hang it. Yep, there it is.
Right here.
Yep.
Hanging up in my bedroom wall.
And I asked her for one, and she looked at me and frowned and said, "Oh, you're too old." That's always stuck with me. Kind of hurt a little bit.
Meanwhile, I'm 39 and have my cape still hanging on my wall.
You saved a lot of people in that cape.
Yes.
The hero nobody asked for, but we always needed.
Yeah.
Speaking of a story no one asked for, that's a segue.
Ooh, nice. Nicely done.
Here is mine. So this story, Tippy and Bob and I all run in Tough Mudders and Spartan obstacle races every year, and we try to train for the bigger, more challenging ones because, you know, long story short, I get annoyed when people say, "Ooh, look at me, I ran a Tough Mudder." Well, yeah, we did 2 of them in the same day, you know, just because we got to prove we're better. So I'm going to prove my better by telling what happened as I'm training for this. So I'm training, and I hate exercising in the morning. I've never been able to do it. My body does not wake up. You know, like I'm very good with yoga. I'm very flexible and can do most stretches, and I'm pretty good. I mean, I'm not a fast runner, but I can hold my own, you know, not with Tippy, but, you know, so I'm training, and I decide one morning I'm going to get up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm going to run, I think, 8 miles, which, you know, would be a very, very good training run to do. So I'm running and my body is just stiff and sore and I'm uncomfortable and I'm just miserable. But I go through my favorite run. It's through a nice park by my house and about the lake and paths, and I'm seeing all these nice people walking their dogs and everything's going fine. And I hit the 3-mile mark, and all of a sudden, you know that sometimes when you wake up in the morning, you kind of gotta go and take a little break on the toilet before you really start your day. I never did that.
Oh, goodness.
I hit the 3-mile mark, and that feeling hits, and I'm like, ooh, that's not good. So I'm looking, and I get to this crossroads where I can turn left, and it's another mile and about a mile and a quarter home. But I set the goal to do this 8-mile run. By golly, I thought, it's only 5 more miles. That won't take too long. And instead of turning left, I went straight. And once I went straight, that was the point of no return, because by then I'm committed. And so I'm running, and this feeling gets worse and worse and worse. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is bad. I'm thinking, I'm just planning my route out going, is there any way I can find a gas station or an outhouse or anything? And I'm like, there's nothing. I've just got to get through this. So I got through it, mile 4, mile 5, and finally I get to mile 6, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am not gonna make it. But I'm like, I got to keep trying, and I'm just like trying and trying, and I'm on like a insanely busy road, and by now it's 6:30. There's people going to work all over. There's people walking dogs all over. There's houses everywhere. I'm like, and I finally hit the point where I'm like, nope, it's now.
Gives new meaning to the word the runs.
So I'm like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do we do? And all I can find was I see a townhouse to the right of the road. There's a little bit of a bend in the road, so I'm like, I got a little bit of cover here. There's a house with the curtains up, and there's, a couple trees as cover from the road. And right there, I had to do what I had to do. It happens, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to clean myself with? So I end up using the underwear I was wearing. I get done.
You were able to do this out of sight of the general public?
Huh?
You were able to do this out of the sight of the general public?
As much as I could. I mean, I got myself covered, and honestly, no one showed up when it happened. Well, that was the
YouTube
thing.
Next week.
I got up, I walk out of the little trees, feeling like I'm the worst person in the world.
Oh no, you're not.
And sure enough, a little old lady comes walking around the corner about 2 seconds later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I lucky?
Dude, that would have been epic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Now-
dear. Oh my.
And like I said, I try to follow the rules. The funny thing, like my dogs, if they do that and I don't have a bag, I will go back home and get a bag and get it cleaned up. I knew I had to get that cleaned up because it was completely inappropriate. To this day, this has been 6 years, I have never been able to find the spot it happened. I look every single time I go running down that road thinking, was it here? Was it here? Never.
You were going to go clean it up?
Yes. I brought a
See,
bag with me.
That's where we differ. I'm pretty proud to say that I've left a pair of underwear in every state in the country. And I've never thought once about going and picking anything up. Never.
Oh, so proud.
Yep. So
Good
there,
one,
that's my
Jace.
story.
That's funny.
Good one.
Okay, TTA, you're next. I have to go check on a child that's been watching me, probably with horrified eyes as I tell this story. So I will be back. Go ahead with your story, man.
Yeah.
No, go ahead with the story, man.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now that one just reminded me of a. Okay, I got it. Reminded me of a good outhouse story.
See,
Since
and
Board
that's my
is
problem.
tending to matters there. Okay. We have this job going on in northern Minnesota, right in the dead of February. I mean, it was 20 below every single day, and I was working night shift, so a lot of nights it was like 40 below, and we're mostly working outside, except for like where we're actually building our structure. We had this massive tent set up. It's about 60 feet tall, kind of in like a half cylindrical shape, and we got heaters blowing in there, so we're able to do like concrete work in the winter, which is pretty nice, especially when you're on night shift. But if you want to go to the bathroom, you got to go to one of the outhouses. But one of the outhouses had a little space heater in it. It was between all the office trailers. Needless to say, there was only one outhouse on the entire site that everybody used.
Oh.
So I get to that work that day, and man, I gotta go, and I get into the outhouse. I mean, it's nice and warm. It's a balmy 40 degrees in there, which is a lot better than the negative 20 it is outside. I open the lid. I'm like, oh, good God. There is material stacked up almost up to the toilet seat. So I'm like, okay, I didn't need to hover, but I mean, it was looking.
Were you scared if you sat down, you were going to get poked?
Indeed, so I only had to hover a couple inches, so I do my business and then reach for the toilet paper. Yeah, the toilet paper wasn't happening. Yep. It was in that little. Yeah.
Ugh.
Toilet paper wasn't happening. So I had to sacrifice a pair of leather work gloves just to get
cheaper on you.
Just get 50 feet to the next outhouse so I could properly clean myself off in negative 20 weather.
Couldn't you have used a sock or something?
I wasn't sacrificing my socks. We get gloves for free at work.
Not when it's that cold. I'd rather have a dirty rear end than a cold foot.
Well, I'm not saying for the whole day. I mean, gotta be socks somewhere.
It's like in my truck, I got many pairs of expendable gloves. That was just what I needed to just to get to the next outhouse.
Could have put the gloves on your feet.
No, they're not.
Then
No,
he wouldn't.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked. But
It's just like trying to argue with Bob about pegging cribbage points. Ugh.
Oh, we don't have a. That's
we don't
another
have- yeah.
podcast.
We're already over our scheduled time here. so-
2-player teams, 3-player, 6-player.
It, does,
Just general cribbing.
it doesn't matter. Bob gets confused about.
I do not get confused. I do it right.
Matt, are you a cribbage player?
I like to play cribbage.
Well, we all got to get together.
I'll show
And
you the
okay,
right way of playing.
how many points do you get when you play last card?
1.
But if you get a 31, you get 31 for 2, and the last card is 3.
Mm-mm. Not on the 31.
It's the last card.
No.
No.
Ooh. Comment below and let us know who's right.
Oh,
Just
funny.
gotta hit up that algorithm.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Click like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome all viewer.
Hit that notification bell. Ding.
All right, who's next in the story?
It was me. Yeah, I was just kind of tiding us over with my outhouse story. Okay, so my third story it's similar to my second story where I did something at work and didn't learn my lesson. Okay, this is in 2009. We came off of winter break and we're just starting up a new year. I was still pretty green at that time. It was like my second season doing pipelining. Like I'd just gotten a brand new truck, and well, it wasn't brand new. It had like 30,000 miles on it, but from like my life experience, I didn't even know they made vehicles with less than 100,000 miles on them. So like, I got this shiny new truck. Used to be a fast and all fleet vehicle, but I freaking loved it, it's only 3 years old and has like 29,000 miles on. I'm like, ooh, heck yeah,
Yeah. You're not
It's like-
even broke in yet.
Yep, indeed. Yes.
Well, and you'll see on our opening too, the vehicle that Tippy Tater Alligator's in is his first vehicle, the aluminum.
Yep. Actually, I could tell you some stories about that vehicle that I would definitely fit into this, this podcast. Oh, they would. All right. Anyways, back to the story. Yeah. So I get to the job site in the morning. It's about 2 hours away from where I was living at that point. At that point, I was living in Mounds View. I've been living there for about 6 months at the time and working Southwest Minnesota at that point. So Monday morning, about a 2-hour drive there, and then I stay there, for the week and drive back home on the weekend. But pulling to the job site, we're kind of working in an ag field or agricultural field, and we got a little lay down yard set up, and we pull into the site and then back into where all the other trucks are parked, and my rear end falls right into this ditch, right at the back end of the parking area, and it's only a 2-wheel drive truck, so there's no way I could lock it into 4 and get myself out of it. So, and once again, all my coworkers are right there. But at least this time, we've got heavy equipment to help pull me out. That thing wasn't like my body and bouncing off after falling off a float trailer. It needed help. So, yeah, I think all it took was a skid steer and a chain, pulled me right out. I'm like, okay, then I get teased pretty badly about it for a few days, and everybody forgets about it. Well, next Monday, pull into our little laydown yard, just about nearly the same spot, backed right up, boom. Exact same thing happened. And I have my work radio in the truck come on, same foreman before. Tippy, did you just back into that same bitch again? I didn't even respond. I'm like, just get out.
Bring the skid steer.
Just another good example of not learning from your mistakes. But
so is that your last day on the job?
Oh no. Well, 13 years later, I'm still working in a higher position in the company, so I must have screwed up a lot more since then.
Either that or gave them plenty of good laughs, and they're like, we're going to keep this guy around.
He's got material.
Well, there's like an old trope in our industry, every time you screw up, you put a penny in the jar, and once that jar is full, you become the superintendent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Boy, sad to say, doo-doo, it's the last one.
Well, I got a dilemma too. I had one, and then the number 2 stories started coming out, and that reminded me of another one, but it's kind of short, so I'm going to do both of them. First one was I was working for that same construction site, and we had this huge pile of black dirt we had to move. And I grabbed the boss's backhoe and put it up on the pile, and he had rented like 6 trucks, to just come in and get loaded and take it and dump it where we needed it. So my job for the day was just sit in that backhoe and load trucks all day long. Well, that same feeling hit, so when I got to a point where I could, I grabbed the little paper towel roll out of the backhoe. I ran down the backside of the pile and I started doing my thing. And I'm there, and all of a sudden I hear, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm looking around, didn't see nothing. I hear it again. I'm like, oh, well, I'm looking around, and all of a sudden I hear this voice say, hey, don't forget to wipe. Now, this job I had was in Hudson, Wisconsin, and that's right along the the river there.
Yep.
St. Croix, thank you. And one of the main tourist attractions is hot air balloon rides. So I'm sitting there doing my thing, and that I hear was the gas going in the balloon. Some guy yells down, hey, don't forget to wipe. So I looked up and went, thanks, you want a picture? But I don't know if they took one or not.
So did you remember to wipe?
Huh?
Did you remember?
Oh, yeah, a couple times.
Good.
Yeah. The other story was me and a buddy of mine, we got together. Oh, this is only probably about 10 years ago, I suppose. But anyways, we got together on what's the big holiday in September? Labor Day?
Labor Day?
Okay. We got together on Labor Day, and it was on a Monday, and we got together and we got ourselves some beer and some brats and stuff, and we were going to sit in his driveway and just have a good time. And just so happened that Monday night was bingo at a bar in town, and I'm a pretty big bingo fan. And we were sitting there, and we were eating, and we were drinking, and we had decided that if we're going to drink, we aren't driving into town, because that's just dumb. Shouldn't drink and drive. And but as the afternoon went on, that bingo sounded like more and more a good time. So we're just stupid idiots, and we were drinking a lot, and we decided we're going to bingo. So we get in my car, and we drive into town, and I had to go.
Who was driving?
Huh?
Who was driving?
I was.
Okay.
And yeah, it wasn't pretty. But anyways, I was driving, and we get into town, and there was a stoplight. And wouldn't you know that one of this town's fine police officers got in behind me. And I mean, I'm not doing good. I'm kind of freaking going, I got a CDL. If I get a D-dub, I'm screwed. But anyways, the light turns green. I take off. He takes off. He's still behind me as we're rolling into town. We get to the bar. I put my blinker on. I pull in. The cop pulls in right behind me. And all I said was to my buddy was, get out, get into the building. So we get out. And as I'm walking just about to the door, the cop goes, hey. And I look over and he goes, you don't know how lucky you are. And I'm like, well, that's good, because I'm going to go play bingo. And it was not a good thing to do. But yeah, so bingo was like 3-4 hours, and I slammed pop, and I think I ate 2 things of nachos, and just tried to. I knew when I left that I was going to have some alcohol in my system, but I wanted to try to get rid of as much as I could. And
that's funny.
Yeah, we made it home okay. You shouldn't drink and drive, and I did not win any bingo that night.
Oh, that's funny. I'm going to play bingo. Yeah, that was bad.
Oh boy.
Right. But I mean, the good part about that night was that witty comment.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I open my mouth and stuff comes out. That shouldn't.
No, not you.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen, for these. We really can call ourselves gentlemen after these stories.
Hey, I didn't tell a story. I'm good.
Yeah. Oh boy. So Doo-Doo, take us into what we're going to be talking about next week for episode 3.
Well, we are going to do kind of a question and answer session. I'm a pretty big fan of food. So on my notes here, I got down just a bunch of food related items, and I'm going to pick somebody at random and ask them if they like it or not. And I got 2 pages of stuff written down so far. So you guys don't have to prepare. All you got to be ready to do is say yes or no. And if no, why? And then at the end, there's going to be a very special question.
Ooh.
There we go.
Sweet. Well, I look forward to that. That'll be a good
So I
time.
hope you eat food.
I wonder if milk steak is going to be on there.
What's that, Jason?
I wonder if milk steak is going to be on there.
Or Niak.
Or ketchup.
Oh. And so then Tippy Tater Alligator, then you'll have it the week after him. So
Indeed. Okay, so
excellent. So, before we go into our post show meeting, do you have any thoughts or anecdotes to leave the listener with, Mr. Alligator?
Well, nothing insightful, I guess. But I just had an absolutely fantastic time here tonight, guys. Bringing up a lot of old stories and just, oh my goodness.
Very good. Doo-Doo.
Just.
Yep.
Same thing as Tippy there. Just it's so good to laugh, and it's fun. It's fun doing this every week with you guys, and I guess as far as something smart to say, I can quote Andrew Felix in the fact that sometimes the jobs are few or big and the rewards are few, but just remember that the mighty oak was once a nut like you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Hey, what about you, Bob?
Yeah. Not really. Just had a lot of fun here tonight, and then we do have to do it some night because another idea for another episode. I know all 3 of you at one point or another, I've created some kind of songs with you guys, and I think that would be fun. That at least touch base on that a little bit. For earlier tonight, I had a song that Bort had made up probably 20 years ago, the stupidest song I had stuck in my head about paper plates. And then it got me thinking about me and Doo-Doo wrote plenty of songs about Christmas songs. And then Tippy Tater and I, we've done a lot of guitar stuff together. So that's something I'd like to try and incorporate. I don't know really how to do it in an episode yet, but something like that would be fun. Maybe like funny creation type things you did when you were younger or something.
You gonna do that for yours then, or
I don't know.
Okay. Well, how about
I don't know if I want to do it for my week, but maybe one of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just throwing stuff out there. I don't know why I had that song, that paper. You want to sing it, Bort?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'd like to hear it. I don't think I've ever heard it.
You're putting me on the spot to have to sing in front of all one viewer that we're gonna have.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, I'll be there with moral support. I'll harmonize.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, where is it?
This is a bonus, an extra
I've got a
bonus.
ukulele too.
Okay. Here it is. Paper plates. Paper plates. It's fun to sing about paper plates. It's fun to eat. It's fun to dance with. That's why it's fun to sing about paper plates.
I didn't have any time to pick out chords.
Paper plate.
we
Paper plate.
just pick one chord. Like just do a C chord.
Yeah.
We should make that the ending for our podcast.
Maybe I expect a metal cover of that song on
Paper
your
Plates?
YouTube channel.
Oh no, paper plates is strictly ukulele.
Oh, strictly.
Then
Okay.
maybe next week we'll break out coconut oatmeal chocolate.
Oh, don't tell me. Well, oh my goodness, now it's a thing. It's in my head now. It's a thing.
So,
Okay. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. This has been a lot of fun. And we will see all one of you next week. Bye, Mom.
Hey,
Bye.
my mom's watching too, so.
bye.